Hi, streamers. It's us again.
We're back.
We are back, and we have a special guest here with us, Mr. Marc Jospitre from Mallorca, Spain.
Mallorca.
Welcome, Marc. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. And Marc's first introduction into this material was through The Science of Getting Rich. So tell us a bit about that.
Well, I saw an advertisement in Facebook, and that was Bob, which was there, which two fella. One was part of The Secret, and actually the three of them was part of The Secret, Michael Beckwith and Jack Canfield. And I remember looking at this, and I was like, that's interesting. And I look at the price, right? What we all do. I look at the price, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's fair, right? Like, let's buy this. So I bought it, and I remember going through the program, and it was like packed with information. And one place in the program, Bob is saying, you can share this information, you can do this. And I remember that was very much the first or the seed that made me, okay, like, I want to do this. How am I going to do that? And it was such a great program. I absolutely loved the book. I became a fan of it. That's something that I'm studying still.
So how many times have you read it?
Oh, I can't tell, because like this is a book which we were studying chapters because Bob told us.
Is it Your Think and Grow Rich?
No, that's The Science of Getting Rich.
No, I know, like
But
Bob's.
for you, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of it, yeah. Like that's one of the books that I've been reading like for days, like 90
Gotta
days
highlight
straight.
it
Yes,
and-
highlighted. If you would see my book, I mean, everything's falling apart. And this is my my Think and Grow Rich book. Absolutely.
I think what's so great, Science of Getting Rich was one of the programs I first did as well. And I think everybody says this about Bob. He's just got this innate ability to break down what appears to be complicated information into a really simple and easy to understand way that you can actually implement it and follow it. I mean, Waddle's book was written in 1910, I think. And it's written in kind of an old style, but I just love the way that Bob breaks it. I got inspired and motivated as well by it. And so then you became a consultant.
Yes.
With us.
But I love what you just said there, because Bob has this ability to verbalize simply things which are extremely complicated. And this book, The Science of Getting Rich, if you read the original, it is very
Well, it
complicated.
appears complicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until you break it down.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's exactly what Bob is doing.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
he's bringing this into a simple matter where that you can truly digest the information and like being able to understand what's happening.
And that's what our consultants do, is that, so Bob takes you through this material step by step and breaks it down for you. And then we've taught our consultants on how to guide you to really understand it and then implement it, so you're not out there all by yourself trying to figure it out, doing the old shelf help thing. Have you got any stories you can share with us about?
Well, when you said you became a consultant after that, in this, he's telling you that you can become a consultant, right? Don't think that you cannot share the information. You definitely can. And at that moment, this is where the first seed was planted that this is something I want to do. I want to share this. And I remember going to my boss and says, hey, I'm going to teach the information, you know?
Right.
And after 2-3 days, it's like, okay, so this is what your team is doing as a result. And I'm thinking, like, I just started 3 days ago. Like, give me a break, you know, get some momentum. So I realized at that point that I was missing something. There was still something missing.
Okay.
And took me a couple of years before I bit the bullet and really jump into the consulting program. But when I saw that was a step-by-step consulting program, which I was supported and I was in business for myself, but I was not by myself.
Right.
This is where that I got involved.
Yeah, now your clients aren't by themselves either, because you're
Correct.
there helping them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you think of just before we wrap up, can you think of a quick story of something that's happened for one of your clients by following this?
Oh, I mean, there's so many stories, but one that strike me is there's a client that was doing it was doing fairly okay and was really comfortable. And this is one of the challenge that probably a lot of you are having is you're very comfortable into what you're doing. The results are there. You know exactly what's going to happen. But if you truly look inside, if you truly look at what's happening inside, you're probably realizing that I can do better.
Yeah.
I can be so much better. And I was talking with this client. I was explaining to him that he can be better.
There's more.
There's way more than what he was doing. And he was in his business like for like 9 years or something like that. And he was still like kind of middle of the pack. And through the presentation and explaining and finding what was his desire, he said, okay, I'm going to do this. So he paid in full and started working with me. And within 6 weeks, he earned the same amount of money that he earned in the previous 8 months.
Wow.
Wow.
So he was like, Mark, it's working. I know it is. I know it does. So it was very fascinating to see him. And now, like, you know, he just, I was just I met him because I'm back on this side of the world. And I was having a talk with him. And he was telling me that he just signed his biggest deal ever.
Oh, wow.
And he's telling me, you know, you told me all of those things, and I was not so sure if that was true and if it's gonna happen. But now you know you're living in Europe, and everything you told me it's happening.
Yeah.
So somehow they trusted, but they needed to see the proof that it's all working.
It's almost like you said, like it's working. We hear that all the time. It's almost like a kid when they finally figure out algebra or math. Like it just clicks. All of a sudden it clicks, and then things just get easier. It goes smoother. Kids do better. It's the same thing. It's like we're discovering, you know, candy for the first time or something. You just go, oh my God, it really, really works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. And I think when you finally agree that it works, that's where the faith comes in, and then really you just really let go, and really magical things start to happen for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I mean, you're gonna see like through this entire weekend when you hear Bob talking about what Wallace D. Wattles is talking about. It is so fascinating, and really pay attention to the subtle things that is in between, because it's such a beautiful program. I'm still in love with it. I'm still listening to it. I'm still like playing with this, and that's over 7 years ago.
Yeah, and one step further, I mean, obviously pay attention, take lots of notes, really open up your mind, but get a hold of the person that invited you here and talk to them about it. And like Bob said, when you were listening, like share this information. So go back to the person, your consultant that brought you here, and start sharing with them, you know, what you learned, or maybe you got some questions, or you had an aha or something like that. That sharing will deepen your knowledge, and you'll go way, way faster and get where you want to go. So I want to thank you.
Thank you very
Good to see
much.
you
Thank
again.
you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you
for joining us.